Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 27. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report. Plenty of news, plenty of profits, as always. Yes, you guessed it, but we have some all-time highs that we did not really expect from our cryptocurrency here. So we also have some excellent news regarding our trading and also for you. So that will mean there will be a new possibility to come in and trade together with us. And we will tell you a bit more about it later and who is actually involved. So let's get started. And as usual, we're going to start off with our Yieldnode friends. And at the end of the month, for here in June, we made 6.1%. And this was actually a quite good recovery because in the recent times here in May and June, everything was a bit low when it comes to crypto. And it was looking like we were going to go back to the all-time low. But the team did a great job here of pumping it up again. So 6.1% for the month after all the hardship we've been through. That is quite a result. And to have a look at this on the weekly profit chart, you can see that the pink that we had here was a bit below what we had from previous month, quite a lot lower. And still they actually managed to outperform both February and March at the end of the week, which was quite well and which is actually gave us the 6.1%. So very well done to the Yieldnodes team. So again, they delivered. So when we thought we were going to get an all-time low. We also mentioned this particular section last week. There's a new feature in here. So for people that want emergency withdrawal, there is a penalty or for 25%. So basically, if you want to take your money out now and cannot wait until the 4th or the 8th, then you can go in and do this. So the new beta testing at the moment that the Yieldnodes set up is that you can go in and bid on these particular loans. So you cannot do it with the funds you already have inside the Yieldnode system, but you can do it. So by adding more in there, but at the same time you're getting a 20% discount, and the last 5% will then go back into the Yieldnode system. So very good option. We have been in there a couple of times to see if we could do anything about it, but we haven't been lucky enough to do it. Obviously, there's not too many when you have a 25% fee to take out your money in a very short period of time. But we have some new all-time highs, and this is SAPP, Sapphire coin. We did not expect this actually when we started off. As you can see here, we started off back in July, and all the time the return on the investment has been around the 50-60% mark, and obviously that was a good development. We know that the SAPP and Sapphire coin is the cornerstone here of Yieldnodes. So we put in the shared masternoding, as you can see, and from last week we have a good steady progress as always. This time around about 1.5% from 62.5 up to 64.08. So extremely good development, but the overall coin development is even better. So, and it has certainly taken a jump in the past week again, and we looked at that when all the other coins were going down. Actually, SAPP was getting stronger. So overall coin development from last week was 438. Now this week it's past the 500%, so 515.83 to be exact. So that is some serious gains that we have made, so in less than a year. And we actually did a video last year on how to make 500% return on the Decenomy coins. This, however, was not made for the SAPP, but it was made for the PNY. And we're going to have a look at the PNY. But if you want to be in on the share masternoding, that is the video. It will have the full tutorial from start to finish, everything that you need to get done in order to go in and get your shared masternoding, including the exchanges that are also involved in order to make this happen for you. SAPP and Sapphire coin, as you can see the development in here, it's going up and up, and it's gone quite fast here lately. Very good development. Let's see where it's going to take us, and especially the new projects that we have mentioned before. if this is really going to take off. What hasn't taken off is the PNY. We have, however, seen some nice improvements in the last week, and as you can see, the shared masternoding itself has gone from 572 up to 594, so more than 20% in the past week. The return on the investment for this particular one at the moment is 158%. And then the coin development, last week we were all the way down to minus 54%. We have seen a nice turnaround, so not as big as we wanted to, but still we are down to minus 24%. And that's not too bad. Obviously, now that we have almost 600% more coins than when we started, small little gains is going to look very nice for us. So let's see what's going to happen with the PNY in the near future, and hopefully if we manage to find the bottom. Here you can see the graph for the PNY. So going back, and we can see on the last part we have a little peak up now finally, and we hope we're going to get back to the same levels before. And then obviously you can imagine that if we just go there, obviously we will make several 100%, so in the months and weeks to come. Yeah. Birake is also a good one that we are following all the time, and it's also showing good and steady progress again. So at the moment it's at 133 return on the investment per year, and the shared masternoding we have is also quite stable, so from almost 26% last week up to 28.8. So that also means we have made a considerable gap. So Birake was previously just a bit higher than SAPP, so the return on the investment has really gone up, and that's why you see there's a more than 2.8% gap from last week to this week. So that looks very promising, so especially in the times we're in right now. Overall coin development is from 204% up to 225. So we're coming back up to the all-time high. So let's see in the next couple of weeks. And this is what it looks like right now. A bit of a struggle on the top here. So a bit up, a bit down. At the moment it is a bit down, but still good profits. So let's see if we can continue the positive development over time. And to have a bit of look, so to see how Bitcoin is doing against US dollar. So normally how everything is going. You can see the positive trend is there. We saw in the beginning of June here that we had a flat market, so basically moving around the 18 to 20. And then now again we can see there's a clear trend that Bitcoin price is going up, and hopefully will continue to do so again, but obviously many things depend on this. Elevate Pass is another one we have in this week. A bit disappointing though. We were expecting Elevate Pass to go back and produce a bit more profit, but we ended up with 0.7% for this particular week. And let's see if we can't get the team to work a bit harder and get us back into the 1.5% that we were accustomed to in the beginning of the year. Obviously, again, as I mentioned before, so you can build your own team in order to boost the extra profits by direct commissions of 10%, and obviously a matrix commission for the rest in your team of 1.8. One of the things, obviously, that we have also here with Elevate Pass is they are very transparent, and every single Monday on the 1st of the month, you can join the founders and ask questions, and that's what they had again this particular week. And it is the same links all the time. You can see the scan code up here, otherwise you also find it on our webpage. So, but it's a good way of getting closer to the team itself and figuring out who's behind it and what they are currently working on. We've been working on a new video, and yes, this is actually already the third video for the solar farm. And this particular time we have made a compounding strategy and how to optimize your profits. We had a look into both version 1 and version 2. And version 1 is fairly simple. There's not too many restrictions in there, but there is quite a few. So with version 2, and those we have taken into consideration and basically made a video on how that we are going to progress with the entire process. And even also as we sent this video out, we have seen some changes again from the solar farm. And this comes into the dump abuse and the spam abuse. Basically, it's a higher penalty than previously. So going from 10% pounds on the dump abuse to 25%, and spam abuse 5% into 25% on the panels. And obviously that is quite important because the panels are the ones that are providing you the profits at the end of the day, and you certainly don't want to be losing that. The tax part is the money that you're taking out. If they take half of it, obviously it's not very good, but the foundation are the panels, and obviously this is in order to make sure that the whole platform is sustainable. So they will change it during the times in order to make sure that the platform is long term, and it's great to see actually from the developers so far. We have actually already gone in and taken our money out. So we invested in this less than 10 days ago, right after 2 minutes after the launch of the Solar Miner 2. And as you can see, the fresh value here that we put in was 2.01. For some reason, don't ask me why right now, so I did only take out 2, but it says 2.13 here, so we actually went over, which was definitely not the intent. And that has now adjusted the allowance for us also with the same amount as we took out. And that means that we are risk-free. I can tell everybody who is in here with me on the solar farm that it takes about 5 to 10 seconds to get them back into your MetaMask wallet. Everything worked like clockwork. We've done that both for version 1 here now and for version 2. And it's great to have a platform where everything is so automated and you don't have to sit and wait for days in order to get your money paid out. So the development here also, and why we're obviously happy with this, is that we went in when the BNB against the USDT was down at about 215, and it has been sailing around in the $215, $220 mark. And as we now take the money out, it was up at 236. It used to be past the 300 before we had all the dips here in the crypto coins, and hopefully we'll see it back up there fairly shortly. Part of the video that we also showed you here before is that we have our bit on the strategy, and obviously everybody can have their own strategies in here. But if you are signing up with our link and you're signing up with us, we will obviously provide you so with the Excel, and you can flick around in this and figure out which strategy works best for you. So all you have to do if you signed up with our link is send us an email and then just put in the MetaMask address, similar to what you see here, marked up in red. We can then confirm that you have signed up, and we will send you this fairly shortly. So this is a strategy, so it's sustainable over time. So let's have a look at the numbers behind the Solar Farm 1 here, and the TVL, so the total value locked, continues to go down, and it did go down quite a bit just here on Wednesday, and where we were compounding up, we decided to go out a bit earlier, so not to lose too much. But the total value locked in here has gone from 190 down to 124, continues to drop. Seems it was stable at one point. Panels owned has gone up by quite a lot. So we used to have 17 billion, now we have 75.6, so definitely moving in the right direction. Panel value also from our side went from 0.9478 and now it's up to 1.2266, and it was even higher before. Daily rewards is a bit lower, and this has something to do with that we have spent the last 24 hours basically claiming back the profits. So it went from 0.1895 down to 0.1757, but we were actually closer to the 0.23 before we started taking it out. That's the setup for the system itself, that if you are not constantly compounding, then you could lose a bit of your value. So only go in a short burst at a time, take the money out, and then again continue compounding. Solar Farm 2, definitely a good development here. So the total value locked, so it's a positive sign. 462 and up this week up to 934, and continue to built, so this is looking to be one of the biggest platforms in a very short period of time. Pounds owned has also gone up from 2,983 last week to more than 10,434 now, and continues at a nice steady pace. Panel value definitely also gone up from 5.6994 BNB to more than 16.82. So again, very, very fast development. And the exchange range at the moment is from 523 up to 620 pounds, which means you get a bit more pounds per 1 BNB at the moment. So let's see, it might be a good time if you haven't already jumped into the solar farm. And solar farm, obviously it's the values of the tokens that are locked in here, plus it's also the solar token itself on the price going up and down. And what you see here is the last red has basically been the price going slightly down, and that's why you see the changes in here. So, but the band is quite narrow, and it will be exciting to see how it goes. Obviously, we expect a big pump once we also see the casino launch in full blown. What is not really working in full blown is definitely AI marketing. Everything is in red here, as you can see, 6.13%. And the reason for that on the June profit is simply because we have 4 out of 5 accounts that are currently not telling us exactly how much we made. They are all showing zeros. We only have 1 account that is still counting, and that is not even going very well. At the same time, we can see that the advertising budget is pinked up. So we're not too nervous about this, but obviously it's quite annoying because we can't really see the profits we're making. So the idea here is that we have to wait currently for the AI marketing team to pick this up. We have seen they've done that before, and we had to do a corrections also a month and a half ago. And obviously once we have that, we will make sure that we'll present this to you also. But right now it's very difficult, and we still don't have any solution here when it comes to getting your money out or adding more money into the system. Yet again, so the meeting was cancelled on the 5th by AI marketing team, so it has been moved this time around, only 1 week. And if that's good news, I'm not exactly sure, but definitely at the moment, the meeting is scheduled for the 12th of July. So frustrating, but there's not really much we can do about all this. What we can do is continue to look into our robot trading, and it has done quite well as usual here. We have seen a US 30 index that continues to have a drawdown. It hasn't really come back fully yet. And then we also had some issues we brought up last week with the New Zealand Swiss franc, and we actually went back to Alex from Expert Forex, and then also we went to the EA factory to know a bit more about what exactly happened. So this was the New Zealand versus Swiss francs, where we had a bit of a peak. So from the Sunday to the Monday trading last week, and it looked like we made a profit, but on the MT4 platform itself, it looked like we had a loss. And then after that, we had a bit of a drawdown, and then we had some margin calls. But we had let the account run in the background until we have full confirmation of what exactly happened with EA Factory. So hopefully we will have something for you next week to explain why exactly this happened. So we still believe that this is most probably because it was run on a demo account, and that doesn't really take precedence over the normal live accounts. What does do quite well here is for the week, and here we had week 26. I believe we also had a chart last week that said 26. It was actually 25, so the numbers here is correct. It's just that we are already getting these numbers in from last weekend, and those are the ones we work on, so we have a full week of profit to show you. And definitely you can see here that everything has been doing extremely well. So again, silver in the top, so we have British pounds, AUD and Aussie USD. They are all over 1,000 and more than 10%, and we are still talking about just 1 week. So gold is back up and 10%, and then we have the British pounds USD, which is not too far off either. So the top 5 EAs here has basically made $5,656 or 11.3%. So extremely well done, and we are quite impressed with how stable this EA has continued to be. And to throw even bigger numbers at you, this is the results for the entire month of June. And again, you can see it's some of the same names that we have up here for the top 5. So the British pounds, USD 5,783 or 57.8% in one single month. And the worst one is actually the CAD Swiss francs, only making $2,679 or 26.8%. So quite high numbers, and still the drawdowns haven't really been anything significant. Total for these 5, $8,639 in 1 month, or overall profit of 37.3%. We are quite happy with this, and obviously we'll continue to monitor it. As always, you can find everything on our website. You can go in and look on the FX Blue and see every single currency pair, so how they are traded. The last but least, we have the first video from Alex after quite a few weeks. So he's enjoying his vacation in Greece at the moment. And I have been speaking to him about a new project here, so which is basically a trading copy service where you can go in, but you have to be a member of the premium forum. You will go in and you can basically copy paste some of the signals that, for example, Expert Forex might have, or you will have other traders such as High Tech Investment yourselves. You can go in and copy those particular trades. So for a certain price, exactly how this is going to work and how much it's going to cost, it is not set in stone yet, and obviously we want to know a bit more on that from Alex. But it's a certainly a good way where people that have no experience in trading, they don't know how to set up any robots, they can still be part of it, and you don't even have to buy the robot itself. So definitely this is something that we really are looking forward to helping Alex with setting up. But we do believe, if you watch this video here, that this will only happen sometime in either August or maybe even September. But at least we get it started, and hopefully it will be something that is a new income stream that you can also make good benefit of. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. We hope you enjoyed it as always. As you can see, there's plenty of profits, there's plenty of different interesting projects that can actually pay off, and even the one we have in just simple 10 days, it is worth sometimes taking a bit of risk, but then also make sure that you get your profits back and at least become risk-free. And with a bit of luck, you might even make a buck or two. So thank you for this week, and I hope I see you on next week's news report. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.